Welcome to my YouTube channel, and you can find me on YouTube, and this is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, you can give my videos a thumbs up, and you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, don't be afraid, don't be shy, swing by and say hi to Starlight by leaving Starlight a comment down below. Beep, beep, beep. And you can share my videos with your family, your friends, a deer, and a cat, meow. And also, those of you who would love to send love donations, you can through my Cash App, and I will have the information here. Ping! There it is. And also, thank you to all of you. Yes, you and you and you, and especially you, for being here all this time. And those of you who are new to my YouTube channel, thank you. We need each other. Whether you agree with that or not, we do. We all need each other one way or another. So anyway, this video today is about stop trying to save the world or save everyone. First, yeah, you need to save yourself first. Then you can go save the world, you know? And that is what Starlight had to, I'm being funny when I say that, is that people really do. They need to first save themselves, you know? And I do know some people out there that, you know what, their life is a mess. And then they got relatives or people that they meet on the street, someone out there, and you know what they do? Even though they know their life is chaos, everything's a mess. You know, they could have trauma, having like so much anxiety and stress. You know, maybe they don't even have a job, or you know, they're depressed. They are going through so much, and you really need to work on yourself first. And that is what I had to do in order for me to even start a YouTube channel. There's no way. Well, yeah, I could have started a YouTube channel a long time ago when I was a mess, but I had to work on me first. I wouldn't have been any help to you if I couldn't do the work myself. And so that is what I had to do. And I've been doing this inner work for a long time. I've been working myself my whole life. And that's the whole point, you know, because I knew I lived a life of hell, you know, and there, if anyone out there is a chosen one, you know what I'm talking about. Like my brother, he was a chosen one, but I didn't know it. He had a hard life, you know, growing up, being abused so much, you know, as a child. You know, so that there's a lot of people out there that go through this, and they might not even know that they're chosen one, you know, but, and then there's other people that do go through a lot out there, but you gotta, you know, learn how to heal yourself and take care of you first, you know, and these are tests. Those are tests. The universe, God, you know, will put people in your path, and it's just to test you. Are you going to put their problems on you got a big ass plate, you know, you got all kinds of stuff going on, you know, there's people that are, they got so much trauma from the past. They need healing. They need to take time out. They need to sit with themselves, but they didn't. They went out, somebody had a problem, and they're like, I got to help them out. But they're not taking care of them. And so you really need to really take care of you first. You know, let those people are, you know, they got their stuff that they got to deal with. There's other people that can help them out. But if you got all this stuff going on in your life, and now me, I might not have a house, but I'm happy. I live in my car. I'm on a mission with God. This is my situation. Like anytime I've gone out and got any help, I'm like, my situation is way different than most people in my situation. You know, when I say that, is that I live in my car, but I'm not dreading it. It's something that, I am in this situation, and I feel more freedom than I ever did when I was, in my own apartment, So my situation is a lot different than most people. Most people, they might, be stressing out all the time, trying to figure out how they're going to make it through the next month. And that's what my brother that is no longer here, he was going through that every single month because he had problems where he couldn't go out and work. He could have gone out and work, but the government was helping him out so he can actually, because he could get seizures and stuff like that. So you wouldn't want that person going out and driving in a car or working on a motor, anything dangerous, Nobody wants to, a lot of times nobody is going to want to hire somebody like that because they're afraid something might happen to those people at the work site. So anyway, is that you got to save yourself, just like the airplanes, and Starlight's gone flying a few times, but, is that they want you to put your own mask on, and then you can help other people to get their mask on because, and this is what happens to people is that I did this my whole life. I needed help. But I was helping it, I needed, I was going through a lot through my whole life. I mean, my whole entire life. So I just kept on trying to help other people. What it was doing to me? It was draining the life out of me. It was sucking the life out of me. It was draining me. And then I found myself sitting alone, not getting the help that I needed. Those people that I was helping, they couldn't help me. But I gave all my time, all my extra time, my energy, trying to save everybody else. And that's what I was doing before I ended up leaving New York during around the time when I started my YouTube channel. I was, every weekend, it was on my family. I worked my hours and my time for my cleaning business, and that was one of the greatest things that I could have done as far as making money, was starting my own business. And, but you know what? I was struggling in those days. I was in and out of hospitals from the year of 2016 all the way to 2023. My business was always dropping after I would go in the hospital. And I'd get up, and by the time that was the way the universe was pulling me out. That's not what the universe, God wanted me to do anymore, because God wanted me to do what I am doing right now. And so you got to understand is it's okay to care about other people, but the more you help other people, you're taking that, and it's great that you care about people, and that's not a bad thing. That's a great thing. But there's ways that we can help people, but you got to take care of you first. God first, then you. And Starlight had it all backwards. Everybody else, then me, and God was last. So that was so true. I had it all backwards. Everything was twisted backwards, upside down, a freaking mess. When I lived, I'm in the same area where I used to live before I got in a situation with my car. So you got to take care of you, and that is what I've been doing. And some of you might be thinking, but Starly, you should be out there, getting a house. But this is where the universe put me, so I can travel, because the people, wherever God sends me, there's people out there that, this is what missionaries do. This is what people do. Like in my situation, is that I'm not supposed to stay in one place. The universe wants me to move, at least right now. This is what I've been, being guided to do, because the universe is going to have, and this is how this whole journey has happened, is that I'm being sent, and then bam, I've had many people tell me that we need more people like you. After the little bit of time that I talked and spent time with these people, there's been many people that I've helped along the way at food pantries all over, homeless people, but that's because I've been doing the inner work for years since I've been going through these hospital things since 2016, so my life was spiraling out of control during those years. And I am so grateful that I did discover nothing happens by accident. There's no coincidence in this universe. But when I was going through depression, and it was many years going through this, but this was another time that I was going through it and I needed help. Even though I was seeing a therapist during those times, I really needed more. A lot of times a therapist is not going to give you a whole lot of answers because a lot of times they want you to come back. So that's their income. And so I did discover my mentor, which is Infinite Waters Ralph Smart. And that is how everything changed, is God will use whoever God wants to use to help you out. And so that is how my life has gotten better. But I'm not saying it was easy. Absolutely not. It was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get to where I am today. And so, and it's not a fast process. If you're thinking that you're going to go on the thruway and, go 75 and get to where you want to go, it isn't going to work that way. Because in this reality, you really gotta slow down. Because the society teaches us to go fast. Go in the fast lane. Starlight. Guess what lane Starlight is mostly into? Unless I gotta pass people, I'm in the slow lane. Normally, everybody's passing me, and so we don't have to follow the way the world does things by being in such a rush and hurrying from here, going over there. Because you're gonna miss out on things. Because, just like me going slow, I'm going to, see things that other people miss because they're going so fast. They, just like a person, like I used to walk, the same thing. I was able to, when I used to walk my kids around when I didn't have a car, I got to enjoy the beauty along the way, the birds, the squirrels, things, the way people had the outside of their houses decorated. People along the way, I used to walk through a cemetery all the time, and it was my favorite spot to walk through because it's where I was feeding the animals all the time, and they would talk to me there. I wasn't going to get all that stuff, in a car driving by, going to work. Of course I would have got there like that, but yeah, it took me some time to get to work every day when my kids were growing up. But the walk was beautiful. I was able to enjoy so many different things. No matter how many times I went back and forth every day, I was seeing something new where we need to slow down. And that's why you need to really go within and find out who you are, and you got to protect yourself out there, your energy and all that stuff. But if you're doing things in the wrong order, like going out and saving everybody else and leaving you for last, you know what? It's going to take you even longer to get healed because you are the number one. After God, you are the number one. You shouldn't be the last, or, God shouldn't be really the last either, and that's what Starlight was doing is, I put everybody else before me. And, on my weekends, boom, gone. Where did it go? I was going, relatives wanted me to go there. They already had my weekend already planned before the weekend even came. People will do that. They want you, they don't have a car to be able to go to your house. So, you could visit them and, you didn't even leave. And they're like, hey, are you going to come next weekend? You didn't even, they didn't give you any room to plan your weekend. And I was always saying yes to everybody. When it should have been a no, I needed time to think about, do I want to come? But, and I was every single weekend driving an hour away. My car had a lot of miles. Nobody cared about the miles, the gas money, that it took to do this every time, so every weekend was about everybody else. So I needed the time to sit with myself. I needed to go within, and it's work on my shadows, and some of you might, like when I was going to church, I didn't know what is a shadow. Oh, that's my shadow. That's on the when you walk out and you see your shadow on the grass or the sidewalk. No, not that kind of shadow. A shadow is like your ego in a way. Like in the church, it would have been your flesh. The universe is going to point things out, or people might point things out to you that you need to work on, like forgiving people, forgiving yourself, loving yourself. People think they love themselves. Most people don't love themselves like they think. The ego will lie to you and tell you that you're fine. You're okay. You don't need any help, Starlight. What? Are you crazy? I do need help. We all need help. But you got to first help yourself before you can go out there and help somebody else. Just like a lot of parents, this is what a lot of parents do, is they don't take good care of themselves. And just like I know a man right now is that if he doesn't take care of his own health, he's got a mom that's in her 90s. How's he going to take care of her? Just like with kids, if the mom and the dad aren't taking care of their well-being, how are they going to be there to love and support their kids and raise them up? That's why you are the most important person. It's not the guy or the girl. That's another big issue. People will put their partner before them. We got it all backwards. And then you wonder why the relationship is going the way it is. You're giving your power over that person, but you're not taking care of you. You got to take care of you. And, but you always want to find out what God wants you to do first. And then when you listen and you align, you're in alignment. And there's many times that I've been in alignment with the universe. That's when everything is the way, the way I'm supposed to be doing it. And there's many times it's not easy to balance yourself in this reality. Absolutely not. And that's a part of, even being grounded is a part of all this. But you need to love yourself first and take care of your needs. What are your needs? Your health, your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, spiritual. You got to take care of all those things. You might have to go out and have a therapist. You might have to go to counseling or a life coach. You might have to go out and get some help. But there's people that they're like, I don't need that kind of help, Starlight. See, that's pride. Pride will always tell you that you don't need any help, that you can do it all on your own, that you don't need anyone. I was there. People are like, hey, I don't want people knowing that I'm going to, they act like everybody's going to know that you're going through a therapist. Well, yeah, if you tell everybody, they're going to know. It's nobody's business if you go see a therapist or not. Those are things that you got to decide on who is safe to tell and not. They should be happy that you're going to see a therapist. But the way society is, people will laugh at you. They'll think there's something wrong with you. But guess what? There's something wrong with all of us. I laugh because there's people that they think they got it down. They're so blind that they don't even see that they need help. But you got to be the God first, then you. Stop trying to save them. Take some time to reflect on what's going on inside of you, not what's on outside of you. And that's what I did my whole life, looking on the outside. You got to go within, get alone, get out on a nature trail somewhere, spend some quality time alone with yourself. Listen to your body. What does your body say? You got to, make sure you're taking care of yourself physically, getting exercise. I'll tell you what, when I don't exercise, I'm going to feel it, and some of you probably asked, or you're right, because everybody's got different weight. Everybody has different backgrounds, and but you got to take care of you. Let those other, you can call them on the phone, but you don't want to be those people, the main focus. It's God and then you. Focus on yourself. After you get done doing the work and you are strong, now you can get out, and because you can get out and go for a walk, you're doing this, you feel great. And then later on, like I had to go through this on this journey here. I was working on myself. I met my mentor on YouTube during 2017, and I've been working on myself from 2000. I mean, hardcore working on myself. I was lost before. I didn't even know where to start, going through all the trauma that I've gone through, even before birth, all the way up until 2000. That's a lot of shit. Nobody would believe my story if I told you from even before I was born all the way through. You'd say, that's crazy, Star. I know. Yeah. Chosen ones are different. They're not like everybody else, so anyway, you got to take care of your needs first before you go out and try to save everyone else. I love you so much. This is Starlight. This is love, light, and peace. Thank you for watching. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight, love, light, and peace.